Welcome back to the Confidence to Close series. My name is Jeff Hershey, if you will, and we're talking about navigating your first sale as a digital agency as we continue the next chapters here and setting up your anti-sell. Now that we understand the concept of a micro commitment, which is step 2 in the process, we're going to dig into the anti-sell. And with it, you're reversing the roles in a sales situation. You're setting yourself up to be able to reverse those roles. And you'll notice as you use that confidence to close training that while enlightening yourself on how you can use this in your day-to-day marketing, prospecting, selling, you're allowing your prospect to turn the tables on you or have that feeling that they're turning the tables on you. They start selling you on why they should be working with you and what services you provide that they actually want. A big part of that is getting them to agree to an agenda up front and getting them to give you a micro commitment on what you're doing together, what you're going to do together. So what is your agenda and how do you get there, right? Getting in the door and meeting with somebody for the first time is the micro commitment. They've replied to an email, they've picked up the phone and called you, they've gone to an online marketing event or shown up at one of your events in person, whether it be online or offline. No matter what it is, they've given you that initial micro commitment. They've shown interest in what you have. When you meet that prospect face to face or online in a small one-on-one scenario, you need to set an agenda for the next steps moving forward. And I set an agenda even when it comes to my online webinars. I let the viewers know, here's my agenda for the call. Here's what we plan to accomplish today. And I want to provide you with tremendous value and give you some instantly actionable items. And in that process, I ask them for permission. Will that work for you? Are you guys interested in what we're selling? Are you interested in what we're talking about today? And I dive into my presentation. You guys get it, like what we're doing here? And then you ask them, and then you tell them. And I've learned this inside of the military and about presenting from there. Basically, you tell them what you're going to you tell them what you're going to tell them. You tell them, and then you told them what you told them, and you summarize from there. So I'm going to ask them some questions to find out if we can help their business, but I don't talk about the product or the service quite yet. And it begins if finding out if I can actually help them. Then I share some relevant things that we've been doing in our business that will get them closer to their desired result if I can actually help them from there. And it leans on the law of reciprocity in setting up your anti-sell because for me, I want to have that law of reciprocity. I want to give them something. I want to do something that shows them that I'm paying attention, I care, or give them something where they feel like I've gotten something small ahead of time that going to be able to reciprocate this in advance. So for me personally, there's these little zebra pens that I like. You can get them Office Max, you can get them probably at Walmart, you can get them anywhere, you get them online. It's a zebra pen. It's about like 0.5 millimeters. And for me, when I used to fly, they would fit into my flight suit really well back in the day when I was an F-16 pilot. And I still use them today. They're a certain size pen, the way it writes, I just absolutely love it. Now, they're metal, they're clean and simple. They cost like $2 to $3 a piece. So they're not cheap, but they're not expensive. And I personally look to find a reason to give my prospect a pen or basically give them my own pen and hand it to them. And you can even have your logo and stuff put on them, but I'm handing them this pen, something that's unique that they might not have yet. And if they have it, that's actually a bond that I built. But most of them, I've seen 99% of them have not ever had this pen. And during my presentation, before I even try to get the binding micro commitment, give them a contract to sign or ask for anything sales based, I'll say something like this. Hey, you know what? You can have this pen. It's my own personal pen. I really like these a lot. You can keep it to take notes. Like, here you go. Here's a quick little pen and some paper to take some notes on what we're talking about. I think this is really cool. Check this out. Like, I got 2 of them. Why don't you just keep it, right? So I'm giving them something from there. Or, if you want to write this stuff down or jot down my number real quick, or maybe some notes on what I'm telling you, dude, take this. If we don't work out together, then at least you've got something that's value at the time that we spent together. I love these pens. Just keep it. It's super cool. Like I think I think you'll benefit. I think you'll see how cool it writes. And that's it. That's all I'm doing is I'm just giving them something small, right? It's reciprocity that I'm building in. And this is highly effective if you give them a reason in the middle of the conversation, not up front, but in the middle of the conversation, knowing where your trigger points are. Because what you're doing is you're starting to open up the opportunity for reciprocity, which is a common marketing term where you've given something and you've shown some value up front. So for me, I'm not doing it right away, like, hey, here's this pen and paper going. In the middle, I'll be like, hey, just check this out. Like, write this down. I've got some really cool points for you right here. You guys take this and benefit from it, right? And notice I didn't say if you're interested in the product or if you're interested in working with us. I specifically said if this makes sense to you, because if you position yourself properly, it's going to make sense to them, and naturally they truly do want to work with you. Otherwise, they wouldn't have you there. They want you to be able to work with them. Otherwise, they wouldn't invite you to spend the time, and they wouldn't make the time out of their day to meet with you. So you're actually setting up the anti-sell where they're going to come to you and say, yeah, this makes sense. I want to get started on it. I want to move forward. And it talks about, the time frames and value pricing and setting things up. So be very aware of the time that you have and not necessarily make yourself wholly available to that person. Set rigid time frames to ensure that you can do all that you need to do to be naturally persuasive and have that confidence to close inside of your specific window. And it's going to take time. You need to perfect it and really keep it simple and clear and boil it down so that you're not overcomplicating things. A lot of people just want to put a ton of lists of facts on a slide and they want to go through all the benefits. Pick one thing, one simple thing that will get them results. Because if you have a presentation that's 30 minutes or an hour long and they tell you they only have 20 minutes, make sure that they achieve the full potential of the opportunity within that window. You need to keep yourself short. You need to understand that their time is valuable too, and not to be rushed, because you'll feel pressured and you'll skip ahead and you won't properly walk someone through the entire process. So if you're going through this and you're setting up and you don't have yourself set up on that 15 to 30 minute window, and a prospect is rushing you through everything and setting up your anti-sell, you just can't skip around and go in for the kill shot and be able to make that sale, right? You have to be respectful of their time, but you also have to expect them to be respectful of yours. If they don't demonstrate that they value you and what you do as a business up front, they keep cutting you off, they keep rushing you, they're not giving you the time that you need, they're likely never going to show you that level of respect. Think about this, about relationship that you've been in. Think about the businesses that you've worked with or people that you've talked to. If they don't show you that level of respect now, they're never going to show it to you. They don't truly value what you have to offer. And this may not be a good prospect. Just move on to the next one, fire them and move on. You have that power, right? You have the ability to say, this doesn't work for us. And I've had plenty of prospects and sales presentations where the person just wants to know what I have or what does it cost. They want to know the price up front because they're going to go talk to 15 other people and they're looking for the race to the bottom. They want to know who's got the cheapest solution. That is not a business you want to work with. So while that other product or service may not show the value that yours does, these individuals are buying off of price alone, and that's not somebody I want to deal with, and it's probably not somebody that you want to deal with or should be dealing with. They're always going to be looking for that Walmart bargain. Even if you're giving them and delivering them the services that are the best in the market, they're trying to find somebody else that is willing to undercut you, even if they're going to receive the level of service or results that you can provide at your price. They don't understand a premium service. They don't understand premium delivery. They're always going to be looking for that, and you don't want that stress, and you do not want that as a customer of yours or a client. So when a prospect is in the lowest price frame of mind, looking for the cheapest option, they're most likely not a good fit. And you need to find this out as quickly as possible. There's no use wasting your time if they're going to choose somebody else for just to save a few bucks. To save 20 bucks a month, they're going to just drive you crazy, right? So that's where the qualifying questions come in. You must realistically price your products and services for the value that you provide, but more importantly, you must be able to make a profit to survive. Because if you're not generating a profit for your business, and to be honest with you, minimum 2 to 300% of what your cost to deliver the services is what you should be pricing it. So if it costs you $100 to white label or to fulfill a service, you should be charging $250 to $300 a month off that service, because that's what it is. Look at physical products that are coming from China to a retail store, including marketing costs and all of that. It could cost them just a couple bucks to be able to create that, but by the time it hits your hand, it's 40, 50, 60, 100 plus dollars, because they need to be able to make a profit to survive. And there's that baked in cost from there. So if you're not charging at least 2 to 300%, maybe more in the case, you're not going to survive as a business. So we need to figure out if it's a yes or no quickly. And with a powerful conversation like this, where you're asking if this makes sense to them, you will see more micro commitments with every yes that you get, moving them towards a path to a sale. These micro commitments build upon one another and keep the train moving down the track. Now, if you get a no and the prospect is telling you it doesn't seem fair to them, or they are not seeing the value or benefit that you're giving them, you want to know that right away. Why waste your time or theirs if it's not going to be a good fit? Don't fit a square peg into a round hole. You want a solid no right away, because you don't want to waste your time or theirs. Now, you can guide the conversation appropriately because you stand behind your product and you're confident about what you're selling and what you do, and they agree that you can provide the value to them and their business, but you need to figure out if it's worth their time and yours. When you go through this process and we talk about the actual setting up of your anti-sell, the big key to the anti-sell is to remember that you must stand behind your results. If you have the right product or service that you can generate them leads, you can boost their overall score, whatever it is that you do, you can drive them new traffic. You need to know that you have to have the confidence that you can stand behind what you actually offer. And I use this as a way of thinking that I need to impress upon the prospect that if they don't stand for something, they're basically going to fall for anything. Anything that somebody tells them, they're going to believe. Meaning that if they don't stand up for their business and the overall value that they provide to their customers, they will basically fall for any cut rate service provider. They don't truly believe in their business. They're just looking for more leads to continue from there. And you must believe in your product or service that is the only one that they should desire, and frame it appropriately. Get them to stand up for their business and explain why they need what you're selling, and have them start selling you on why they need it, right? This is part of that 80-20 rule. You will have them actually talking about their business and how you are going to provide the value for them. You're anti-selling. You're having them sell you on why they need your service. And this part of the entire anti-sell process allows you to embed the appropriate triggers, moving them down the path to making their own decisions. And as we go through, we're talking about embedding those decision triggers in the Confidence to Close series, and how this works for you to be able to embed those decision triggers inside the minds of your prospects. Now, by now, you're getting excited about these embedding decision triggers into the way you interact with your customers, clients, and prospects. So let's dive into what decision triggers are and where they come from. As we talked about earlier, buying decisions are made emotionally, and then it's backed up with logic and reasoning. And at the end of the day, the wallet. Emotions get people to pull out their credit card or their debit card, and then they reason with themselves later about why they needed that purchase. With the Confidence to Close series, you're going to be able to enlighten customers about your products and services, making them aware of why they need them. You know it is working when they start selling you on why they need what you're offering, and pulling out your card. With embedding decision triggers, we focus on two primary emotions, and those are pain and pleasure. And the first thing we want to talk about is avoiding pain. Now, I'm sure you'd agree that prospects are looking to move away from the pain of a problem, and you're starting to see what a huge factor that plays in their purchasing decisions as you go through this series. Our inherent avoidance of pain naturally pushes us towards enjoying the pleasures that come with that avoidance. Here's a powerful trigger question you can use to help prospects identify pain that they want to avoid. Add this question into your conversation, and it will be quite easy for you to truly see success in positioning your offer. And here it is. Write this down and memorize it, right? What's not perfect with your blank and your blank yet? Fill in the blanks to fit your product or service and help highlight where you can really make a difference for them. And you can adjust the sentence a little bit, but this is a very, very powerful sentence that you should be able to fill in the blanks on. There's some major keywords in this question to create a very highly framed response. A lot of research has gone into using the line, "What's not perfect with your blank yet?" And you'll notice that the offer can be embedded in there without actually saying what you're going to be offering them. So this is how you position yourself for that anti-sell, right? You're saying yourself for the anti-sell and you're embedding those decision triggers. And there's some absolutely amazing decision triggers that you can use. When we use decision triggers in our sales path, we're amplifying things. You boost the power of your words when you use emotional trigger words. When implementing these trigger words, you are able to embed them into your day-to-day conversations, whether it be on a sales call, through direct marketing, or even with your family or significant others. These results can be absolutely amazing when you use the Confidence Close series daily to empower yourself, right? You'll notice there is a difference between the words great and absolutely amazing. It's two variations of the same sentiment, but I use absolutely amazing to amplify what I'm saying. Great is what I like to refer to as a baseline word. This is one that everybody uses all the time. It's just a baseline word. There's no excitement. The scale doesn't peak. Nothing moves there. Its value is lower in conversation because it's so commonly used every day. But what you're offering is better than just great. It's an absolutely amazing opportunity that you have to generate more leads for your business. And you need to amplify the word great by using words like absolutely amazing and finding things that work for you. And it will actually flow easy into a conversation. So this is something that we use day to day inside of our business and with our persuasive phrases. So I also use these amplifiers and other persuasive phrases when I'm writing sales pages, video scripts, or even direct mail copy. I work diligently to embed them into the emails that I send and the phone conversations that I have. You aren't going to use, every amplifier word you have in a long and drawn out one-sided conversation. But if you use these words and phrases on a day-to-day basis, you'll truly see results and you'll become more persuasive during in-person meetings as it becomes more natural to you. You'll realize that I'm about to say the word great in my head, but I'm going to use the words absolutely amazing. And you're going to see that their interest is going to peak and you're going to get those differentiation in the results and you'll close more sales. Because remember that it's not just the words that you are saying, it's the overall structure of those words. With an opening statement like this, we're going to cover how we can help improve your online presence, or we're going to cover how we can help improve your overall lead generation strategy. That leads them to see you as part of the solution and opens up the gateway for you to ask your trigger questions. And when you introduce trigger words like these into your day-to-day conversations, you're going to see results because these are words that are proven to work in persuasion. They elicit emotional responses from your prospects and your clients and your customers. And research has shown that if you just use the word because and give somebody a reason, they don't even need to hear a good reason or response because you've simply given them a reason to believe it. The word because is a very powerful word. It's very, very persuasive, and you can use it in almost any sentence that you say or write. Now, as you go through this, there's a lot of people that may make a mistake, or you're going through this process and you're trying to set this up, and you should never use the word sorry in your marketing. You should never use the word sorry in your conversation or in your sales pitches. There's the one word that I like to stay away from, and it can be difficult to refrain from using it because this word is subconsciously ingrained in our brain. And I've actually tested this with some friends where in my text message or my emails on like iMessage or emails, the word sorry, and I've tested it, is we often politely just throw it out there, but I try to never use it. And that word is sorry, if you figured it out by now. And it basically says that you're wrong and puts you at fault. And you are instantly at a disadvantage in regards to being persuasive, right? This is a word that you should never use in your vocabulary or your language, especially in an argument or discussion with others. Because when you're actively trying to persuade someone, you may get some pushback, or maybe they say something like, you know what, I don't see this as a product that's for me, or you know what, it's not the right time, we don't see it right now, I just don't see how this is going to work for our business. We do X, and we just don't do this, right? We're not sure. They don't trust you, they don't believe in you quite yet. If you just simply blurt out a sorry, you've accepted fault for that entire situation. I don't do that, and nor should you. You should also be ready for that in your trials, in your role playing. You need to set yourself something up where you prefer to say something that is along the lines of, okay, I apologize for the misunderstanding. I thought we were looking to generate new leads for your business. Or I thought we were talking about how we could help with generating leads for your business off your website. Was there something else that I missed that we were looking for? This approach doesn't use the word sorry. It prevents you from accepting fault or being completely wrong, and helps frame that there's a slight misunderstanding of where you thought the conversation was going versus where it currently is right now. This approach prevents you from accepting fault or being completely wrong, and helps you frame that there's a slight misunderstanding, right? We need to set this up. So this goes back to how most people just broadcast and don't utilize the emotional responses that come with an 80-20 conversation, like we talked about previously. By interacting with a client and saying, please forgive me, or my apologies, you've asked for permission for them to be able to forgive you and move forward. Plus, they're making another micro commitment when they respond to your not sorry with no, yeah, I'm sorry, it's fine, or don't worry about that. They're now actually saying sorry to you, and you're continuing to reverse the roles in your favor. And that leads you setting up the proper emotions and decision triggers to get them down the path. And another path that is highly effective for us in drawing out emotional responses is to ask how it felt, right? Significantly gratifying, or signifying that gratifying moment or specific pain point. And we're trying to draw out that emotional, that elicit response for them of how they felt at that moment. So how did it feel when you had your first call come in off of the website during our trial period? How did it figure out that, how exciting was it that you got that first text message in the first 24 hours when you're using our platform or our software? Or look, how does it feel to throw away money on SEO or radio advertisements or X every month, and you don't even know where those calls are coming from, or setting up? Do you feel like you're just burning that money, or wasting it? How would it feel to have the ability to know every single conversation that's come off your website and what your staff is saying? How much more secure would you feel? Because security is a huge thing, and these are emotions that a lot of people want. So the excitement that surrounds, a milestone, or the suffering that lingers over a bad decision or experience, are emotional triggers. The prospect is going to tell you how they remember feeling the first time, where that call was awesome, or how they felt, and how you can let them return to that emotion with your services, and that they can expect to feel that way every single time a new lead comes in through your service, right? We got a text message off our website. How exciting would that be to have at least one of those every single day, or three or four every single day? And if you could draw out the negative emotions that come from a specific pain point, you can present the perfect solution to them that guards against having to feel that way ever again. You are the solution to a consistent, regular problem that they're experiencing. And we talk about those important events, and we can anchor the conversation on that powerful emotion. You can tie these throughout the presentation, embed little trigger commands and triggers like the phrase naturally by now. And naturally, by now, you want to know about these decision triggers. Naturally, by now, you want to know how we can lead to more customers coming in through your website. Naturally, by now, you probably want to know a little bit more about the services that we offer. Or naturally, by now, you want to know about how we can generate these new leads for your business. If you notice, I use the same starting phrase on every little bit. I use the phrase naturally, comma, by now quite often when I'm making a sale. It works because I'm insinuating that this is the natural progression towards success that we take every time. And this is success that they want to see as well. The words by now, not BUY, but BY now, is also an embedded trigger decision that embeds and puts the command into their brain that they obviously see what we are trying to do, where we have taken others, and that they want to get there too. And they do that by purchasing, by buying from us. Now, the words obviously are used slightly different, but it helps embed that trigger decision. And when you get that first micro commitment and someone opts in, returns a phone call, or shows interest, you don't have to always give them a special offer, but you should be providing value to them on an ongoing basis. By that, I mean you don't ever stop emailing them, warm calling them, sending them direct mail, or even sending them to your business website's blog and resources pages. Always be closing. You're always selling them on the value of your business. Continually provide them with value, because if you can keep them within your circle of trust, they will always know who you are, and you will be the person that is the authority on that topic to them. You remain in front of them so they repeatedly see you, which keeps you at the top of their mind as a subject matter expert, and you will begin to become a constant presence. You become a part of their day-to-day operations, where they are used to hearing from you, whether it be you personally or from your application or the service that you provide, or they understand that new email, that new lead, that new text message, that new review that's come in was generated by you. And then when it's time for you to make an offer or run a special or follow up, you can easily ask them questions they are more likely to say yes to. For example, how did your Q4, your Q1 release go? Oh, it didn't go as good as you wanted. Would you like us to come in and do a consultation to help see how we can help you improve your overall sales funnel? I remember you were interested in our new SMS service for generating new leads for your business off of your website. And by now, you can see that it's live on a bunch of our customers, and maybe we can schedule a time this week, maybe Thursday at 2 p.m., and get you set up during this new release of the new upgrade that we have to help you generate reviews for your business as well, and help boost your revenue by 10 or 20% by the end of this quarter. So, or 8 out of 10 or 9 out of 10 of the small businesses we work with are seeing some astonishing results with our new release and the new upgrade to our platform, or the new service that we're offering that we just rolled out this quarter. I wouldn't want you to miss out. I'm using fear of loss here, right? Would you like to talk real quick on Tuesday at 10 a.m. our time and see if this may work for you and your business? That's a quick little email. That's a quick little snippet that will go out that will get you a response. Fear of loss, missing out, using that conversation that shows them that you care, about their business, but you also can get them results and that others are seeing what they are missing out on. So, in summary, there are a lot of decision triggers that you can use, and probably just as many reasons why a prospect would choose to buy from you. You just have to position it properly. And also, you actually have to have a product that does get them results. And we discussed what these decision triggers are and how you can embed them into the mind of prospects, clients, and customers over the course of your conversations and continuing relationships. This never ends. You'll do this regularly and become a habit pattern for you. You'll greatly benefit from them constantly using them as subject lines, direct mail campaigns, maybe in the email body, and the questions that you're asking them on the phone, on a one-to-one sales presentation, or in person. So be sure to block off some time after this training and stop this right here and create and set up your embedded decision triggers and put them to good use, because we're going to go through and we're going to show you guys in the next training series, why people buy and how to go through it. But you need to have these built for your specific business and your offer and what you're doing. And we give you a great one here as an example for what we're doing, but you need to have this built for yourself. Take the questions that we've gone through, maybe go back and watch this again and go through so you can truly understand how powerful embedding triggers and using the right words and framing are for you and your business and your agency, and getting your first sale as a digital agency in the Confidence to Close series.